Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Our first story about the worst bank customer imaginable. Let's see how the OP handled it. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. And our first story. Refund your overdraft fees? You got it, bud. I used to be an operations manager for a top 20 bank in the States. I've moved on, but for a while the job entailed speaking with customers who were very difficult. So I get this call center rep who escalated the call to me, and she's sobbing. This guy is beyond cruel. He has $140 in overdraft fees in 3 days rebated to him. He now has $70 more applied to the account today. This guy has been a customer a whopping 2 weeks. So no one's giving him any more money. Hence, he threatens to sue, so I get to talk to him. Now, I'm a sensible guy, and I'd like to believe a good person. Single mom? You're getting your fees back. Going through chemo? You're getting your fees back. Hell, if you're a broke college kid and you tell me you just need the money back so you can eat, you're getting your money back. But this dude was a miserable piece of garbage and absolutely brutal in his insults. He gets on the line and doesn't even bother with any pleasantries. So right off the bat, he claims he's taking us to court. I try to explain how it happened, and he yells at me he doesn't care, he's not listening to me, and to give him his money. I explain to him we've already rebated 4 fees, and that's more exceptions than we normally give, and we would not rebate further fees. He cuts me off, then proceeds to call me horrible, terrible gay slurs. I'm not gay, it was a weird way to go. Described me in multiple horrid sexual positions, and explained in great detail how he was going to drill holes in my head. Like for real, over $70. So, real inappropriate. But hey, I aim to please. So I say I think we've gotten a bit off track and ask if I can hold to talk to my boss. This guy tells me to make it fast, he's getting on a plane soon. Cue malicious compliance. I pull the call record and email it to legal and corporate security, asking if this can be defined as a threat against an employee and grounds for shutting down an account. I knew the contact in legal and asked him to look at it right away. He says to zero out the account and he'll shut it down. So I get back on the line and say, "Sir, thank you so much for holding. After speaking with my colleagues, the bank is willing to make a final exception and rebate the fees as a final courtesy, giving you a $0 and 0 cent available balance in your account." He hangs up, I email legal, and they shut down his account immediately. No checking account, no debit card, and no credit card. This guy got off a plane in Chicago expecting to put cash in his account at an ATM and seeing a direct deposit from his job, and found out he didn't even have a bank anymore. And even better, I got to read a follow-up comment from a CSR that said he called back in and this was a business flight. His company didn't give him a credit card. He submitted daily expense reports and they reimbursed him. So he was truly stranded. And our next story. Nasty HR claims policy and then it's used against them. I used to work for a big global company at one of their many big sites as an operations manager. Loved the job. Hated the company. I hadn't gone by my legal name in about 12 years at this point. Everyone knew me by another name. I used it everywhere. All my clients used it, and my name badge even used this name as there was a section for preferred name when I started right there on my application. I had 0 problems up until the new HR manager arrived. She was a nasty cow and especially disliked me. At around 8 months working there, I still hadn't received any business cards and had put in many requests for them over the time. I think maybe the new HR thought she was going to pull one over on me, as she did indeed get my business cards printed and delivered, all 300 to me, all written with my legal name. I questioned this and was told it was company policy and that I would need to write my preferred name on each card if I wanted to keep using it. Even though there were several other managers who also didn't use their legal names and yet had their business cards printed as they wished. I was singled out. She was so damn smug about it. At this point, malicious compliance is really my MO. I'd never worried about changing my name legally, as it had honestly never really been an issue. People will generally call you whatever you introduce yourself as. But well, opportunity came knocking at my door, didn't it? I spent $160 in a full day at the courts changing my name legally, and hell, while I'm there, I'll just change my last name too. I was never attached to it, and this one's much better. I also went and applied for a new driver's license and spent the rest of the afternoon faxing my new documents off to the many places that would need them. It was a lot of work, and it did end up costing me about $200 all up, but walking into work the next day was the most satisfying day of my time there. I was able to hand over my official change of name certificate, and I personally handed the HR manager back all 300 brand new, completely unused business cards with my now previous name. And to top it off, she had to update all my files and my contract, send everything to the head office to be completed, and then had to come crawling back to my office for me to sign each one with my new name. It probably explained the vindictiveness she displayed later, but I ended up quitting not long after. I doubt head office would have liked having to fork out for another set of business cards either. And sure, I had to spend a bit of time and money doing it, but it was something I should have done a long time ago anyway. I just got a little shove in the right direction, and the payout was so satisfying. And our last story. Take advantage of me, lose it all. A while back, I just bought a place in Chicago living by myself. I just got a new job and was so excited to start. The job was a consulting gig that required me to travel from Sunday to Thursday. I thought to myself, if I'm not going to be home that often and have a spare bedroom, I can just rent it out. I found a tenant. Let's call him Bob. Bob was this sales manager for a firm that sold electronics for big businesses. He applies to move in and all seems well, and we sign the dotted line. 1 month into my new gig, I was told I would be transferred to San Francisco, Mecca. I was over the moon. I told Bob he had the choice of renting the whole apartment, or I will be looking for someone else to rent my room at a higher price. He asked if he could take my room for the price as is. I told him no, because I needed to cover my mortgage, but I will leave the furniture as is. He protested. First sign things were not right, and demanded I also leave the sound system, or he's out because he has a month-to-month contract. Read it, I was scared. I didn't want to pay for a mortgage and pay for rent in San Francisco while looking for a new tenant and meet expectations at my new job. I caved. After leaving Chicago, Bob then moves into my room and tells me to F off, starts complaining about things breaking in the house all the time while I was in San Francisco. I had to beg my uncle to help fix these things, only for my uncle to get back to me saying there was nothing to fix. He then starts withholding rent, saying that until I make sure he has a say in who moves in, he will not pay another dime. I caved. He says he needs someone to clean the house monthly. You get the gist. He was taking advantage of me. I kept saying, yes, sir, while I tried to solidify myself at my new job. You pick your battles. The turning point came when he said there was a leak and it needed to be fixed. I agreed that leaks are bad and that I will send someone over to take a look and determine a fix. The repairman went over 3 times, but this guy was never home, even though we coordinated over email and phone. I shoot him a text saying he's not home and holding me hostage over an issue that is now dependent on him just being home as agreed. He then goes into this long tirade about me being African, he's African American, and yes, I am African, and not having a backbone, and that I'm a pushover. I took the insults. What ticked me was when he insulted my girlfriend, that she's a gold digger, and she needs a better man, and that I was useless, and he will slap me the next time I'm in Chicago. I was equally confused. Again, I bide my time. I was in no position, mentally and career-wise, to pick a fight, and there was no way I was going to throw the little life progress I had made so far because of my ego. A while later, I got promoted with an ungodly pay bump and was more stable, 9 months in, I guess. I told him he had to leave and that I wasn't renewing his lease. He told me to evict him because he wasn't going to move out. I obliged, reached out to an attorney, and told him to just go for everything he has. The attorney, while trying not to laugh, great guy, told me it would be a waste of money. I should just go for an eviction first and see how he reacts in court before upping the ante, that people like him will hang themselves, and I should just relax and let him handle it. They went to court, the judge told him he needs to get an attorney, and then the court will proceed with whatever they need to proceed with. I don't know, I had a lawyer for all that. Bob got PO'd. He has to go to work and lawyers are expensive, blah, blah, blah. Bob then comes over to my attorney to ask if we can drop the case if he moves out immediately. The attorney calls me to confirm. I say only if he paid for everything he owed and the lawyer fee. Lawyer laughs, again telling me it ain't gonna happen, and asks if I can settle for an eviction record. I grudgingly accepted. Before this human waste, I get riled up thinking about this, leaves, he trashes the place, like totally trashes the place, so I went for my master plan. Play on his ego. I send him a polite email to his work email about trashing the place and my missing home theater system. As predicted, he insults me, says he will punch my loose lips when he sees me in the whole 9 yards. I was so happy forwarding this email to my attorney with a new case against his company. I have no idea what the lawyer drafted, but I know the dude was fired immediately and was homeless because he had an eviction record. He also couldn't get a new cushy job because of his eviction record. So I proceeded to block everything about this guy on every imaginable social network, LinkedIn, phone numbers and all, just because I don't want him to be able to reach me to settle. I want him to stew in it till whatever statute of limitations kicks in. I still keep my attorney around. Too bad he can't practice in California. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.